The ballroom sparkled with chandeliers and music, but beneath the luxury, something ugly was brewing. Before 400 elite guests, Evelyn Whitmore, a wealthy blonde socialite, suddenly ripped her silk gown in fury, her rage pointed at Darius Cole, a young server who had brushed past her while carrying champagne. Gasps cut through the hall, whispers racing like wildfire. But the actual shock wasn't her public display. It was the billionaire host's unexpected response that turned the entire night upside down. Watch until the end, because you won't believe what happened next. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Darius Cole was 24, working long shifts at one of the city's most prestigious hotels. For him, this wasn't just a paycheck. It was hope. Each evening brought him closer to saving enough for school, for a future beyond service trays and hushed instructions. That night, the ballroom was alive with gowns, glitter, and the heavy presence of power. 400 guests, dripping in. Wealth gathered for a grand charity gala hosted by billionaire Alexander Grant. Darius moved carefully, balancing silver trays with practiced precision. He had learned to keep his head down, to stay invisible in a room where people looked through him instead of at him. But destiny didn't care about his caution. A single, harmless accident, a barely-there brush of his sleeve against a guest's dress, would rip open the mask of sophistication and reveal something far darker lurking beneath. As Darius moved between tables, Evelyn Whitmore, one of the wealthiest women in attendance, turned sharply. His sleeve grazed her gown. No stain, no tear, contact. For most, it would have been nothing. But Evelyn froze, as if touched by something beneath her. Her lips curled, and her face tightened with disdain. She grabbed her gown dramatically and yanked, ripping the silk with her own hands. The sharp tear echoed through the hall, followed by her shrill cry, "Ruined!" Heads turned, all eyes fell on Darius. The whispers started like venom. Clumsy. These workers. Careless. Evelyn pressed her performance further, twisting truth into humiliation, her voice loud enough to sting his pride. She wasn't just accusing him of an accident, she was branding him as less, as disposable. Darius stood frozen, his tray trembling. Every instinct told him to defend himself, but he knew the cruel pattern. In rooms like this, his skin spoke louder than his words. His truth would be dismissed, his dignity crushed beneath her performance. And yet, somewhere in the crowd, a shift was stirring. All around, people leaned forward, wondering. Would the billionaire host, Alexander Grant, side with Evelyn and protect the hierarchy of privilege, or would he do the unthinkable? The music had stopped. Silence pressed against the walls as Alexander Grant rose from his chair. Every gaze locked on him, the billionaire whose word could decide the outcome of the night. He strode forward, each step heavy with power, his expression unreadable. Evelyn smirked, confident of her victory. But Alexander turned, his voice slicing through the tension. The only thing destroyed here isn't your dress, Evelyn. It's your dignity. Gasps broke out across the ballroom. He gestured toward Darius. This man carried himself with restraint, while you wielded humiliation like a weapon. Evelyn's face drained of triumph, her act crumbling. The unshakable balance of wealth and arrogance had been challenged and shattered before 400 stunned witnesses. Darius stood rooted, his heart racing as Alexander's words echoed. A ripple swept through the hall, some clapping, others frozen in silence, unsure how to react. Evelyn fled, clutching her torn gown, her legacy of entitlement unraveling as she disappeared. For Darius, it wasn't just relief, it was vindication. But the question lingered bitterly. Why did it take the voice of a billionaire for his truth to be believed? His dignity had been defended, but not by his own power, by someone society deemed untouchable. The night ended, but the story did not. Because this wasn't only about Evelyn or Darius, it was about every silent humiliation, every moment where prejudice hides behind glamour. How many more before justice speaks louder than wealth? Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.